Worth Nation, aka your consult Ron G, coming to you again. We want to talk to you today about an interesting take, a very interesting take. Many of you don't know this is Dr. Boyce Watkins of the Black Business Institute, and I thought his message today was very timely with something that I've been thinking about over the last couple of weeks and wanting to kind of talk to you guys about and really get into some more detail about a lot of the thought processes that's flying around, obviously, in today. So, without further ado, the narrative of this conversation is focused around a lot of the things that we've been talking about: the importance of investing, the importance of utilizing a lot of the investment tools that we've been speaking about on this platform, and why it's so important to kind of build that narrative now more than ever before. So let's kind of dive in.
One thing about investing that people falsely believe is they believe that when you're an investor, you just sit around and money just rains on top of you and you're just making money every day, all the time, no matter what. And what a lot of people don't know about investing is that investors take hits. Investors have to take lumps, lumps in their coffee, and it's not easy. It's very difficult to deal with that, and you have to have a disposition that can help you maintain your balance as you move forward. So all of you that are investors, which I hope all of you are, because every single study, every single research paper I can point you to shows that people who invest consistently, particularly in the stock market, have more wealth than people who do not. There is no study out there that says that you can work your way to wealth and do better than somebody who invests their way to wealth. There's no study out there that says that people who avoid real estate are going to do better than people who invest in real estate. There's no study that says that employees do better than entrepreneurs on average. What happens is, though, that when you are taking that different path, when you're sort of building your wealth in a different way, it becomes more volatile, and it's the volatility that makes it hard. It's the ups and the downs that make it difficult. It's one of those things.
Key point. This is why I've been pushing most of you out there to do it now. Why? Because a lot of you are still on the job. A lot of you are still actually working in your day jobs. This is why I'm pushing the narrative with you guys. Let's go, right? Let's get into it now. Let's go ahead and take our chances now. Let's take some calculated risks now. We don't want to wait, because if you do it now that you're still backed by your day job, when the volatility times come like he's expressing, it won't shake you. It won't rattle you to the point where you'll drop it, your investment prospects, and just walk away. So if you have that consistent income coming in, now is the time to build that narrative, especially when you know that there are things out there that you've been itching to try or experiment with.
Things where when they say scared money doesn't make money, or nothing ventured nothing gained,
Right.
it's literally that part of it. It's that fear of change, that fear of adjusting and adapting. It can be somewhat exhausting, actually, to have to do that, right? So the easier route, for some of us, is that we're kind of trained to just do your job, get your paycheck, and everything's going to be pretty stable. The reason that I don't recommend that, in my view, again, I don't give investing advice, but this is not something I recommend as a life strategy, is because all the studies also show that approach that you think is safe and secure is not the best approach. Maybe at a time, maybe in the 1960s, actually, in 1950s and 1960s, there were times where you could get a job, say at General Motors or Ford or something, and you could just get your paycheck every week and do that for 30 years straight, and everything's gonna be okay. And they're gonna give you a gold watch at the end and a nice pension package, and you're gonna make enough money where you can afford to have a house and a picket fence and two-car garage and all.
Okay, I know. Yes, you know I'm going to say it. How many times have you heard me say that on this network? This is why I've been pushing the small businesses. This is why I did the video, the top 5 small businesses to start. Many of you have been sitting on business ideas, books, licenses, certifications for years and years. I know I was one of them before I crossed over on the other side. I was sitting on the side with you guys. I had all these ideas, and I'd sit on them jobs, working those late night trains, and all my mind would be spinning and spinning. And it would only spin, mostly when I had those rough days, right? Which was enough of them to make me really say, why am I here? What am I doing? Right? And then you get some supervisor that walks up to you and they're talking to you some kind of way and they're telling you all of this and they're berating you in some kind of way, shape, or form. And the sad part about it is that you already know that you're a whole lot smarter than is projected because you work in a job function where you have to just get along to be along. So it almost appears like you don't have any smarts or any intelligence. And you guys have tons of intelligence. I know I've spoken to you guys many times. So I got tired of that. And what Boyce is saying here, Mr. Watkins is saying, is that you have to understand that there's no security in that lifestyle, even though it seems like it is. Now, he went on to say the 50s and 60s. I would go as far as the 70s. The 80s is when things started getting really, really crazy. Right? When we were coming in, Generation X was coming in. Our parents were saying, go to college and do this and do that. You'll get these great jobs. We were being basically bamboozled during that generation. And that's why a lot of our kids, they don't want to drink from the cup that we drank from because they see that we didn't go into the job functions that we wanted to. We didn't do the things that we were supposed to do in college. We didn't start the businesses. We haven't done most of anything. Most of us have just been complaining. And then the little kid is looking up like, I don't want to be like that. But anyway, before I get off course, I know I talk sometimes too much, but listen up.
All that. Unfortunately, that's kind of gone because I believe that corporations, unfortunately, have reneged on their social responsibility. And I think that it's ultimately going to harm this country in a significant way. I think that corporations, because they're not properly regulated, these politicians don't really regulate corporations the way that they should. The corporations are pretty much operating in a way that is, in my view, unethical because they should be paying workers more money. They should be giving them things like sick leave and maternity leave because if you want a better society, you want parents at home with their kids so the kids don't grow up and become serial killers.
Now, I'm going to close on this one because he really said something powerful. He said the politicians will not regulate the corporation. See, I want to get everybody's attention just for a minute. We constantly see what's going on, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, and this, that. But one thing I like what he said. He said the politicians. See, a lot of us have to recognize that it is the politicians as a whole that have the power to hold these corporations accountable. So when you get so caught up in what political party you're in, what sneaks out the back door, what scathes out unnoticed is the fact that the politicians as a whole haven't been doing their jobs because we know we can see around us. We see these corporations running out the door and going overseas. We're not blind. We see those good paying jobs being eluded. We know that most people are not going to college for these great paying jobs because a lot of them are finding out about these great paying jobs after they go into the work world. And they see those departments that are making XYZ dollars. And then they're like, well, dog, I need to go back to class. That was me. It was true. I got to learn this. I can learn some IT. And I can, you know what I mean? You didn't come out of high school, the average. I'm not talking about the few. There's a lot of people out there that did know how to move and how to walk and how to talk. I'm talking about the average, the ones that's banging on the door for college loan reform. Those people, like I was, the masses. That's what I'm talking about. Almost done. A little bit more.
The retirement packages, a lot of the pensions are heavily underfunded, so they will lie. They will make a promise that, oh yeah, when you retire, you're going to have this much money. But there's some companies who say, oh, sorry, we thought you'd have this much money, but sorry, we were lying the whole time. And then you have just the idea that your wages don't keep up with inflation, and also last but not least, job security is not what it used to be. So even when you get that job and you feel like you're safe, you're not really safe. I hate saying it, but safety is something that has to be custom made.
Mm,
Safety has to be something where you understand what economic safety looks like and you shape your life around economic safety. Do you understand what I mean?
that's it. We're going to stop right there, guys, because safety is in what you make of it. And this is why Net Worth Nation is critical. It's critical because I'm not going to let you off the hook, guys. I'm not going to let you walk around with those ideas, those books that are never written, those certifications that I never lived up to, those licenses that we have. You know, a lot of stuff that we have, but we still working the job, and then the job keeps us so busy and so running and so occupied and so chasing the tail that we don't get out there and do the things the annuities we should be purchasing, the IULs, the private banking products, the things that we really should be pouring our energies into that will give us the type of leverage that we deserve. And then maybe, just maybe, we can begin to hold our politicians accountable because we're not running around like chickens with our heads cut off. So I want to stop right there for the day. I think Dr. Watkins did a phenomenal job of bringing to the forefront a lot of the things that we need to focus on here at Net Worth Nation. And so that is why on the 30th, we'll be doing a tremendous workshop on some great tools that we can start using. And guys, don't delay. Put in the chat group what other businesses that you need assistance with. Put in the chat group who do you need to get in touch with to help you out. Put it in the chat. Let's go. Let's get it together. Let's do what we got to do. All right? Ron G, a.k.a. Your Console, the Net Worth Nation. Peace. I'm out.